Welcome, everyone. And I am so excited to have Alexa Lima. She's the executive director of Central Avenue Special Improvement District, CASET. And Alicia, she is the CEO of Beyond the Plate food tour. So thank you, Alicia, and thank you, Alexa, for being a part of our beautiful conversation that we are going to have. Thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you, thank you. So, Alexa, I would want to know something about Kasid before we start, indulge into our more conversations.
Yeah, so we're located in Central Avenue in Jersey City. We're a mile, almost a mile. We have almost 240 storefronts, and it's a great place to live, shop, dine, and eat.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yes, I love that place. Oh, yes,
Here,
Central
some of us
Avenue.
who work on Central Avenue. Ola Doctor is part of Central Avenue.
Yes, yes, and that's why, I'm so glad that we met.
Yes.
And Alicia, how about Beyond the Plate food tour? It sounds so exciting and so interesting.
Thanks. Yeah. So I've been running food tours in Jersey City for almost 8 years now. And how it works is people buy a ticket online and we take them to 4 or 5 local businesses where you get to eat and drink and meet some of the chefs and owners who work so hard to put incredible meals in front of us. So right now we do culinary tours in Jersey City, Red Bank, and Somerville.
Oh, that's interesting because uh, I know about Beyond the Plate food tours because I was on the Facebook, and it used to interest me so much because if you're a foodie, you get to enjoy each and every part of the different restaurants. So that's really interesting. So, Alexa, so something about the Central Avenue, since you are you had been there during the pandemic time. So, what do you think is the best way to support local businesses, especially due to the pandemic?
The easiest way is just by visiting the businesses and saying hello and shopping local. If you go to one of the restaurants or the businesses, rate them on Google, on Yelp, shout them out on social media, just be there for them. And um, a lot of fun things to do on Central Avenue. And hopefully, with this food tour, it brings people to Central Avenue and visiting us. We have tons of new murals coming too. So it's a good time to just come to Central Avenue, shop around, eat, take pictures with the mural.
Yeah, that's yeah. Actually, I love that vibe of Central Avenue because I've been working with Ola Doctor for the past few months, I would say, and I just love that area because it's vibrant and colorful, and I've done events there. Now, recently we had that Ola summer event where we were outside, so the community as such is very nice. So, Alexa, what was the impact on small businesses due to the pandemic, and how did the Jersey City community help the small businesses?
It's really just about being united. A lot of the small businesses would help each other. I saw it actually a lot with the grants. When grants would come out, businesses were out there helping each other, asking each other questions, working with me on what was out there, and just being connected in that sense. But even then, just like supporting each other, I cannot emphasize that enough. Just supporting the businesses, supporting other businesses is exactly what was needed during that time.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. A lot of businesses have suffered due to pandemic,
Yeah.
and as you have rightly said, just connect with them, support them, shout out. That's the most important thing right now.
Or even just
So,
like what Ola Doctor was doing just last week on Wednesday, Ola Doctor was offering free vaccines. And, you know, it makes it convenient for any businesses that have employees to go and get vaccinated in one location rather than having to go and make an appointment. There's COVID-19 testing centers on Central Avenue that makes it easy for shoppers, employees, and residents to go and get tested or get vaccinated and of that nature. So it's all about
yeah.
being nice and having that communication within each other.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. So, coming to Alicia regarding the food tours. So, tell us about the food tour and how does it work?
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to add on to what Alexa said. You know, for anyone listening right now, now a new wave of problems for, you know, especially restaurants. You know, I work with a lot of restaurants all over the state, and one thing across the board that everyone is having an issue with is staffing. And I think that having the community of restaurants that we all support each other, you know, they're the lifeline of my business. You know, I would say to anyone listening, have patience too, because, you know, it's really hard to find good staffing right now. And even though the demand is there for a lot of the restaurants, they're having a lot of issues meeting that demand because there isn't enough staffing to meet it. So, you know, they want to provide service as much as you want to, you know, be there for the service, but just encouraging everyone just to be kind to each other always, because they're struggling and they want to meet that demand, but we have to give them some grace because we're still all human. And it's going to take a little while for the, you know, workforce to come back and feel safe and confident and finding that flow again. So just wanted to add that in there. I'm so grateful for the community of restaurants I work with. So that being said, so from both ends, so from the customer side, basically your job is just to show up and have a good time. So we curate everything in advance. It's about a 3-hour experience. So once you buy that ticket online, everything's automated. You get an email saying where to meet us. We usually meet in a central location. So for example, in downtown Jersey City right now, we meet at the Grove Street PATH station, and the tour is all walking distance from there. So COVID has definitely impacted how we do some of the tours. We've gotten pretty creative with how we do the tastings as well. So for example, aside from just traditional, you know, sit down restaurants, we also work with a co-working space downtown that lets us use the space. It's called Andco. It's in a Silverman building, and they have a beautiful space where I can bring chefs from different neighborhoods to that location to do some of the tastings, and we pair it with NJ Beer Co. beer. So again,
Wow.
just getting creative with how we do some of the tastings. So one tour usually supports 6 to 7 local businesses, whether that's through some of the alcohol tastings that we do, to the chefs, to the ice creameries, cookie shops, all that good stuff. So some of the places we work with downtown, for example, are Luna, Razza, NJ Beer Co. for beer pairing, Misunderstood Whiskey, which is a whiskey brand started here in Jersey City, Gringos, Freetown Road Project, Ghost Truck Kitchen, Pasta del Cuore, Bad
Wow.
Cookies is a go-to cookie vendor, Tarico, the list goes on. So in one tour, you can expect to visit at least like 3 to 5 of you know, the restaurants, and you get to meet the chefs and owners too and talk with them one-on-one. So you're guaranteed at least to meet, you know, one on a tour. It's all led by a local tour guide.
Mhm.
So a great way to like learn more about the city. So sprinklings of arts, culture, history, aside from all the food and drink that's included in a tour ticket. And by the end of it, you'll be full, you'll be happy, hopefully raving about it to your friends, and walking away with a new appreciation for the city that you just toured in.
Wow, that is so impressive. I'm already hungry now. So, by the way, this is such a different field altogether. So, how did you get into this?
So I guess the short story is I graduated from Rutgers. I studied journalism, and I graduated, you know, after after 2008. So things were still a bit tough.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get a job in journalism. I ended up kind of being pigeonholed into sales and marketing because that was the experience that I had. And I kind of got fed up with corporate. So I started traveling. While I was working corporate, I traveled to Seattle and I found a food tour company on TripAdvisor, just like looking for things to do. And that experience stuck with me so much that when I left corporate and started traveling, when I came back, I was like, you know what? I want to look into this industry. Like, why is no one really doing this in New Jersey? So I discovered that there was a global association for food tourism across the world, across the country, of food tour owners who support each other, have conferences every year. And I started just one.
So, Alexa, if you would like to answer that, how can viewers find out more about the tours?
Well, this is mainly for Central Avenue SID members. So if a Central Avenue SID member is interested, they can reach out to the KSID office and my email directly. Follow us on social media, as well as, also just connecting with me if I'm on the streets. Just say hello and tell me that you're interested.
Due to some technical problem, we'll be back in like 30 seconds. Thank you.